Hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of Deck Memoirs. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look at Welder Mewtwo from 2019 Worlds. I love this deck. I'm just going to start off with saying that. This is my absolute favorite deck of all time. I originally got the championship deck for Christmas because I was playing a Mewtwo deck, a little bit of a different Mewtwo deck before, and I was just kind of starting out, so it wasn't the best Mewtwo list. I picked up this deck, and this deck I think is what kind of really accelerated me to playing more competitively. So I really like this deck, and that's one of the reasons why I'm really excited for new VMAX, and hopefully new VMAX will copy attacks, because I really love the copying attacks style of toolbox deck. But today we're going to be taking a look at Welder Mewtwo. This is going to be the exact World Championship deck that Henry Brand used to win the entire event in the Masters Division in 2019. So yeah, without further ado, I guess we should just get into the deck, starting off with 4 Mewtwo and GX. Mewtwo and GX was actually a pretty new card when this deck won the tournament. Unified Minds has just been released for only about 3 weeks when this tournament happened. They had an early rotation before Worlds instead of usually after Worlds, but when Mewtwo and Mew came out in Unified Minds, there was a whole bunch of stuff that came out to support it in Unified Minds, a whole bunch of GXs that it can copy, or have really decent attacks that it can copy. Yeah, so this is really a brand new card, but it has the ability Perfection. This Pokemon can use the attacks of any Pokemon GX or Pokemon EX on your bench or your discard pile. So this gives you a whole bunch of really cool toolbox options. You can play a whole bunch of different attackers to use in different scenarios against different matchups, stuff like that. So we're going to have 4 copies of Mewtwo GX. It also has a miraculous duo GX attack, 2 psychic, and it causes 200 damage. And if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy attached to it, you get to heal all damage from all of your Pokemon. Yeah, so 4 copies of Mewtwo and Mew GX. And we're playing 3 today GX because there was no Carbide V at the time. Sword and Shield base set hadn't even been released at the time. Cosmic Eclipse was still yet to release. So it was actually a pretty long time ago at this point. But 3 copies of Today GX because it lets you discard your hand and draw 6 cards. Discarding your hand and discarding cards in general is really important in this deck because Mewtwo can copy the attacks of Pokemon in your discard pile and in your bench, which means you can play like Stage 2 GXs that you normally have to play all the other evolutions of to be able to use their attacks, but Mewtwo can just straight up copy them. But you're going to get those in your discard pile, so you have 3 copies of Today GX. Also being able to draw through your deck, find Giant Hearths, find Welders, and find the initial Pokemon that you need is going to be really, really important though. So 3 copies of the Dene GX. And that's the only multiple Pokemon we have. Those are the only Pokemon we have more than one of. All the rest of our Pokemon are going to be one of Pokemon attackers, except for one of them. That's going to be a Marsh Shadow with Resetting Hole. This card is still in standard now. Let's Resetting Hole. Once your turn, you may, if this Pokemon is on your bench, you may discard this Pokemon all cards attached to it, and then discard any stadium card in play. This is really important because Power Plant was very, very good at the time. Power Plant shuts off Perfection. It shuts off your Dedenne. So it shuts off these main abilities that you really, really need to use to be able to play your game and play your deck. So along with your Giant Hearths, Iridium Forest, Marsh Shadow is also searchable with Mysterious Treasure, so pretty accessible. But yeah, just gets rid of those nasty stadiums that you don't want, such as the Power Plant. And also you can be used for doing some really niche plays where you can like Giant Hearth twice in a turn or something like that, or get rid of the Giant Hearth in a play so your opponent doesn't have access to it, which is really important because Welder decks were insane. I don't think, yeah, every single deck in the top 4 in the Masters Division in 2019 had 4 Welders in it, which is just crazy. There was Mewtwo and Mew, this one that got first place that has 4 Welders. There was Cephalon GX, which I will probably do deck profile of for Deck Memoirs in the future, which had 4 Welders. And I'm pretty sure then there's 2 Reshi's decks. There's a Greens one and then Towards Ability one. But yeah, so Marsh Shadow is really, really good in this deck. Moving on to where we start getting to our attackers. We have 1 copy of Charizard GX, which has the Outrage attack, which is 30 damage plus 10 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. Pretty okay, especially considering it's only 2 energy. The main reason we're playing this is for Flare Strike and Double Blaze GX. Flare Strike for 3 fire energies, and it colorless deals 230 damage, and then this Pokemon can't use Flare Strike during next turn. So it's basically like a Brave Blade from Exhaustion V to just cost more energy and actually works with the energy type that you're playing. We have Double Blaze GX for 3 fire energies to do 200 damage, and if this Pokemon has at least 3 extra fire energies attached to it, you do an additional 100 damage, so you do 300 damage. VMAXs weren't in the game at this point, which means 300 damage, pretty much one-shot everything, so just instant KO, and it went through all effects, so it went through things like Tag Purge, or Fairy Charm Psychic, and the Gardevoir and Sylveon decks, which is really, really important. So, Double Blaze GX and Flare Strike really good, and then Outrage is kind of nice as well. The other cool thing about the Reshiram Charizard is like a punching against the Power Plant. Those really annoying Power Plants can be good because if you can, since you already play Welder, you can just basically just bench a Sky and attack with it instead of having to get in your discard pile. Which means you can once again you can play around that Power Plant a little bit better. Moving on, we have one copy of Espeon and Deoxys GX. Now, there's not much to say about this card other than Cross Division GX. Psychic Club is 10+3 more for each second energy attached to your Pokemon. It's fine. It's never going to do enough damage in this deck. It'll probably only do like not that much. It's going to do like 70 damage at max. So I guess if you want to just KO Jirachi, you have better attacks to KO Jirachi with, which we'll see in a minute. But Cross Division GX for Psychic if you colorless. You get to put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. So really good against the Malamars, the Pidgeys and Pidgeotos in the control decks. But if you have 3 extra energy attached, you get to 20 damage counters instead. So you get 200 damage spread. Still really good against the Malamars, really, really good against the Pidgeys and Pidgeotos. But also can be used against Cephalon Magneto. In an interview that Henry did with Rahul Reddy, he said that he played against the Greens Cephalon. The matchup was super easy because he can skip V-String. And I actually played against the regular Cephalon Magneto deck, not the Greens version, earlier today with this deck. I did the same thing. You can skip V-String with Cross Division GX. So what you can do is you can hit the one GX, really important. You hit GX for 120. Then you can use Venom Shot with Magneto, which is 170 damage when it comes Pokemon, to another Cephalon GX, and then Cross Division GX lets you KO. It lets you KO 2 Cephalons, putting 1 damage counter on one and 6 damage counter on the other, and you still have 130 damage to spare, which exactly KOs a regular Naganadel, which is just crazy. You can take 5 prizes in one turn. That's what I did earlier today when I was playing this. But yeah, 5 prize cards, you're going to be going down from 6 prizes to 1 prize. And automatically, this V-String basically just wins the game if you can pull it off. It's definitely a very, really, really cool play. And it was something I probably never really would have realized. Probably would have just taken the V-Strings. But if you can manage to avoid V-Strings against a Cephalon deck, definitely do that with that Cross Division GX. Lets you do that. Moving on, we have one copy of Magcargo GX. The ability here doesn't really matter because we don't have any Slugmas to evolve. And that, once again, it's just the power of Mewtwo. You can copy these stage 1 attacks that you originally need the basic to do. We have Lava Flow, which are 2 fire energy cards. You do 50 plus, and you can discard any amount of basic energy from this Pokemon. It does 50 damage for each one. Once again, same interview with Henry that Rahul already did. He said that he really wanted a way to KO Pichu and Zekrom for 4 energy, and Lava Flow to do that, just that. Reshiram Charizard is going to get you a little bit off. I suppose you can Flare Strike with Reshiram Charizard and then Cross Division GX later. But Lava Flow lets you just KO a Pigrom for 4 energy, but it also gives you that one-shot potential that is in GX deck. Much of your one-shot potential is stuff in Flare Strike and things like that. So having the Magcargo GX is another really nice way you can one-shot. A lot of us didn't play the Magcargo GX, played Dragonite GX instead, which does for 5 energy, you do 270, and you have to discard 3 energies. But with only 1 Fire Crystal and stuff like that. But I would definitely much rather have the Magcargo GX. Even though it does discard more energy, usually you're just going to be one-shotting and finish the game. So, it might be a big deal. But then we also have a GX tech here, Burning Magma GX. You discard 5 cards from your opponent's deck. It's going to be useful against control. Pidgeotto control deck generally likes to go to 4 or 3 cards in deck. Usually 3 of those, and they're going to be disrupting energy. Then you can just 1 fire energy, pop on their Burning Magma. If they don't, you get lost on draft rate. You just put in the lost so you can use it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry, I'll probably do Deck Pokemon Control as well. Actually, have both the Cephalon Magneto and Control built already. So definitely planning on doing a lot of content for this format because I absolutely adore this format. Yeah, one copy of Magcargo GX. We have one copy of Cephalon GX, which is only here for one attack with Turbo Strike, 120, and you attach 2 basic energy cards for your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So this allows you to carve a second Mewtwo and gets a decent hit because, one Turbo Strike plus a Flare Strike will KO literally anything. And, 120 is not bad damage, especially when you're accelerating 2 energy as well on a basic Pokemon for 2 energy. You don't even need to Welder for 3 to bolt stop. You just Welder for 1, or you just attach twice. Yeah, so one copy of Cephalon GX. We also have Prominence GX to heal all damage from all your Pokemon. Probably not as good as Miraculous Duo GX on just your regular Mewtwo and Mew because it won't do any damage, but it's there, I guess, if you really want to use it to avoid a KO or something like that. Then we have one copy of Mewtwo GX, which is played in the Cephalon Magneto GX deck for Ultra Conversion. Discard Ultra Beast from hand to draw off the cards. But here, once again, we don't play the Play Pull, so we're never going to be able to pull off Ultra Conversion. Instead, it's here for Venom Shot for 1 second and 3 colorless. You discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, and it does 170 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So this is the combo that I was talking about earlier, how you can skip Beast Ring, something for 120 with Solgallo, it's something for 170 Venom Shot, finish it off with Espeon GX. Yeah, definitely really, really good. And they're going to just pop KO a Danny GX. Next, we have one copy of Latias GX with Tag Purge. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon attacks from your opponent's Pokemon Tag Team. So definitely really good on your Mewtwo, especially since this Latios rather be on your bench. Your discard pile, you don't need to worry about Power Bang, which is the ability. Which if you have 4 or fewer Pokemon in play, this Pokemon can attack. So Latios can attack if you don't have 5 Pokemon in play. You need to have 5 Pokemon in play at least. Be able to attack with this guy. But you also note it has free retreat as well, which can be used with just one switch. We only have 2 switches on the deck, which means getting out of paralysis from something like a Raichu and a Alolan Raichu GX will be really hard. Since we have this Latios GX against Pigrom, you can just bench that and switch into a free retreat instead of needing to find like an energy or double switch, which can get a little annoying. And we also have a GX attack here, Clear Vision GX. For the rest of the game, your opponent's Pokemon can't use any GX attacks. I guess it can be useful against something like a Gardevoir and Sylveon deck. They can't get rid of your entire hand with their fully powered up GX attack. But against Gardevoir and Sylveon, you can just kind of Tag Purge and chill and stuff like that. So we have one copy of Latias GX. We have one copy of Cephalon GX, and that's the only card that's actually real in this deck because for some reason I can't find a World Championship copy of Cephalon GX. But I have a real one, so I'm using my real one, which has Metal Symbol. Each of your Pokemon at that hat, which is an ability, each of your Metal Pokemon that has any, or each of your Pokemon that has any Metal energy attached can't be affected by special conditions and remove any such conditions affecting those Pokemon. Some of us play this Cephalon GX with a Rainbow energy. Some of us play the Unit energy. So then, just instead of having to just break your Latios against Pigrom, switch into it, free retreat again, stuff like that. I just realized you can't see that Latios, so let's just move that over. Good, so there we go. So because against that, you won't even be paralyzed in the first place because he has a Metal Symbol. Henry's List didn't play any Rainbow Energy, maybe because damage counter can kind of be annoying against stuff like Malamar, because Malamar will hit for weakness, and that one damage counter, the European hits for 130, which damage counter will exactly knock you out. But it's whatever. And then we also have Dueling Saber, which costs 2 Metal Energy. Once again, we're never going to be able to use that. We only have Psychic Energy and Fire Energy. But the only attack on this guy that you can actually use is Iron Will GX for 1 colorless energy. During your opponent's next turn, their Pokemon can't attack. So this will give you an extra turn to power up something like a Flare Strike, maybe feel a little bit behind, or generally I've used this mostly just to try and power up a Lava Flow on the Magcargo GX for game. And some games you don't even have to use your GX tag, which means using this Cephalon GX Iron Will can be really, really nice. So definitely really, really good in there. The last Pokemon we have is one copy of Jirachi GX, which it might be a card you guys are already familiar with. Because it is played in Urshifu decks right now, just get rid of that Psychic Weakness. That's exactly what it's being used for here in this Mewtwo deck. Getting rid of the Psychic Weakness against opposing Mewtwo's and against Giratina in Malamar decks. We have Star Search also, which for Psychic Energy, search your deck for energy and touch it when there's like a Pokemon. That can be kind of nice if you have a little bit of a slow turn 1 second. We also Star Shield GX, 3 Psychic Energies, 100% all damage. That's just Pokemon during your first 6 turn. It's okay. You only have 3 Psychic Energies, but sometimes you will get a little bit lucky or unlucky depending on how you want to look at it. That Star Shield GX will come up. I've also played this Jirachi GX in the Psychic Mewtwo deck. The one without Malamar, that is illegal right now. And I've actually used Star Shield GX once. But other than that, Star Search and Psychic Healing are only really using your playing this. Moving on to our supporters, we have 4 Welder, which is in the name. 4 copies of Welder, just an insane card. Lets you attach up to 2 Fire Energy cards from your hand when your Pokemon and then draw 3 cards. Still in Standard right now. Still seeing a lot of play in Standard right now. Just a really crazy card. But the more crazy thing is that back in 2019 in this format, this is free Sword and Shield, which means you can still play supporters turn 1. You could Welder and get 3 energies turn 1 before your opponent even had a turn. So that was definitely crazy. That's one of the reasons why there was, 16 copies of Welder in the top 4 of this event. So yeah, 4 copies of Welder, and the only other 2 supporters we have is 2 copies of Build Analysis. Now there's actually no supporter gust effect like Lysander or Boss legal when this event took place, which means our best was Custom Catcher, which is an item card. You could play 2 of them and then switch when your opponent's match if they're active. This Build Analysis can kind of be like a boss, where if you already have 1 Custom Catcher in your hand, you can Build Analysis hopefully for the other one. Maybe if you have 0 Custom Catcher in your hand, you can Build Analysis for 2. But yeah, Build Analysis lets you look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 trainer cards you find there. You put them into your hand and you shove the other cards back in your deck. So this can get you Cherish Balls, Shine Hearts. Basically, if you don't want to play Welder's turn or can't play Welder's turn, this is a pretty nice alternative. You can get, Cherish Balls for Dedenne, you can draw your cards. Build Analysis is really, really versatile in this deck. Moving on to our stadium cards, we have 3 copies of Giant Heart, which actually came on Unified Minds. So this card is fairly new when this deck was being played. Once during each player's turn, this is a seeding card, that player may discard a card from the hand and then search your deck for up to 2 Fire Energy cards and put them into your hand and then you shove their deck. So this kind of, it jives with that whole discard your attackers. You can discard your cargo. You can basically just discard those evolutions that you can't bench, or just get stuff and discard that you don't want to bench in the first place. But it also gets you 2 Fire Energies out to guarantee those energies for a Welder, which was really, really great. And we have 1 other stadium card, which is going to be 1 copy of a Viridian Forest. So see, once during a turn, discard a card from your hand to search your deck for a basic energy card. So it's a little less powerful than Giant Hearth, but it searches out psychic energies as well as fire energies. Moving on to our item cards. We have 4 copies of Cherish Ball. Since all our Pokemon are GX except for our Marsh Shadow, this is an insanely powerful card. No quick balls around, communication goes out, except I don't think we have quite enough Pokemon for communication to be useful. Cherish Ball is just better than communication. So Cherish Ball lets you use your deck for Pokemon GX. Reveal it, put it in your hand. So you can use Cherish Ball for a Giant Hearth, or double Cherish Ball, 1 for Dedenne, 1 for an attacker. Dedenne, discard that attacker. Really, really, really good. And then 4 copies of Pokemon 3.0, which lets you look at the 7 cards in your deck, reveal a support card you find there, and put it into your hand. Since Welder, ideally we want to be playing Welder for 200 every single turn. Probably not going to happen, but Pokemon 3.0 definitely helps that happen. As well as searching out your Build Analysis, and you need to, once again, get that custom catcher, that last custom catcher, or something like that. We have 4 copies of Afrobike. which lets you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, one of them into your hand, and then discard the other cards. So it's like better Judge Whistle. Judge Whistle lets you draw a card, basically. The Afrobike can get you, once again, it can get you those attackers in the discard pile, and can lead you closer into those welders, get you closer into the fire energies you need, stuff like that. Afrobike is just actually a really, really good card. Afrobike, whenever it's printed, it sees a whole bunch of play. Afrobike is a really, really good card, and here we're playing 4 because it helps us dig that little bit deeper to find our welders or get those Pokemon that we need in the discard pile. We have 4 copies of Custom Catcher, which most decks at this time play 4 copies of Custom Catcher, except for some Green Zone decks that already played Ninetales. But Custom Catcher, you can play 2 Custom Catcher cards at once, and if you played 1, you could draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. But if you played 2, as I mentioned before, you could just switch from your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon. Obviously, a lot harder to pull off than just a boss with only 1 card taking some deck space, but Custom Catcher also lets you draw until you have 3 cards in a pinch. There's many times where I've played down my hand, just trying hard for no energy, stuff like that, just so I can Custom Catcher. And a lot of times you see people playing Custom Catchers mean they don't have, or Custom Catcher draw cards means they don't have Remy. They probably don't have a great hand, but sometimes you can Custom Catcher them out 1 whether you're missing, stuff like that. And when you have 2 of them in your hand, you can also get to switch as well. So a kind of dual use card, really, really cool. Then we have 3 copies of Mysterious Treasure, which it's a lot more like Quick Ball, except it's only for Psychic and Dragon Pokemon, but it isn't limited to basic Psychic and Dragon. So you get to discard a card from your hand. Once again, there we go with that discarding cards kind of theme. You can search your deck for a Dragon or Psychic Pokemon, or feel it and put it into your hand, and I would just drop some of the deck. It's only 1 card. There's only 1 card. Just go get that. Okay, that wasn't that big of a deal, I don't think. Anyway, back to Mysterious Treasure. Treasure can give you stuff in the discard pile and searches out both Mewtwo, Marsh Shadow, Meganadel, Espeon GX, Latios. It searches out a whole bunch of your Pokemon, so really, really good. Then we have 2 copies of Switch. And this is in standard. I'm probably not going to explain this too much. I already explained it with how it's good with Pikarom and Latios. Moving on to our last couple trainer cards here, we have 1 copy of the Electromagnetic Radar, which lets you can only play if you discard 2 other cards in your hand. It's a treasure deck for up to 2 in any combination of Lightning Pokemon GX or Lightning Pokemon EX. Build them and put them in your hand. Now, we only have 3 Lightning Pokemon GX, which is 3 today, but they let you just get more stuff in the discard, and you can save your Cherish Balls for getting more attackers, and then the Electromagnetic Radar for DNA. And also thin out your deck, I guess, which is kind of cool. Just really, really decent card in this deck, even though you don't play too many Lightning Pokemon GX or EX. Our last trainer, 1 Fire Crystal. You get to put 3 Fire Energies from your discard pile into your hand. Sometimes that Solgaleo Turbo Strike is not going to be enough, so sometimes we're going to have to use that Fire Crystal to just push us over the edge and our energy counts. Now moving on to our energies, we have 8 basic fires and 3 basic psychics. Just finish laying out these fires here. And we have 3 basic psychic energy. That's going to be it for the weekly list. Let me center this more on the screen. There we go. That is the list. If you guys want to go take a look at that, copy that, play it. It's really, really good. It's my favorite deck of all time. Yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more Deck Memoir episodes, don't forget to subscribe. As I mentioned during this episode, we're going to be doing more stuff from this format because I love this format. I have a whole bunch of decks built for this format. So, yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.